Hi everyone, and welcome to Inside Bristol. I'm your host Sheridan Nichols, and today I've got Melissa Clemens with me and Jane Bellamy, and I am so excited to talk to these ladies about a really wonderful and creative idea for a fundraiser for the county to raise books for the Imagination Library. Tell us about this. First, Jane, tell us the name of this fundraiser.
It's called Brush Strokes for Books.
I love that. Don't we love that?
Yes.
I just thought that is very clever. And I know last year this was a sold out event, so this is something you're going to want to get your tickets for. And it really utilizes a concept that I think all of us are really into right now. And that is painting these great canvases where we have an artist that's helping us duplicate this amazing masterpiece, and then we get to take it home. And so tell us a little bit about this fundraiser.
Okay, Melissa.
Okay, I'll begin. So last year we had the first Brushstrokes for Books, and it was great. We had about 50 painters downtown on State Street. Everybody had a great time. We were asked to have a bigger venue this year, so we do. So this year we're out at the Bristol Motor Speedway, thanks to Claudia Bird. We are hoping to have between 100 and 120 painters this year. We're not yet sold out, but we hope to be again. We're having a taste of Bristol, so we have a lot of food donated from local eateries like Blackbird Bakery, Machiavelli's, some others that aren't coming to mind at the moment. But we're going to have a lot of food, a lot of wine, a lot of painting. We do have a silent auction, a lot of great donations there. We do want to show the viewers the painting choices. So we have a landscape and a llama and a sunflower. Almost anyone is invited. So if you're bringing a child, we ask that they be at least 10. So anybody from 10 to 110 is invited to come. You don't need to love to paint. We have an option where if you're not a painter, you can pay a lesser price and come for the food and wine and silent auction. But if you love to paint, come out. If you want to support local children in the area and help us mail them these nice books that they get to keep for free. We send one a month. So that's the goal, is that we raise a good amount of money so that we can continue to send these books out to the kids in Sullivan County.
Absolutely, and I know you send out a lot of books every month, and it really costs a lot of money. I think you were saying about $7,000 a month to send these books. So every little fundraiser that you all do definitely makes a huge difference for all of our little ones. And I know my kids receive these books. I know so many people, and they just get so excited when they arrive in the mail and they get to, get something in the mail that comes for them.
With their name on it. Yes.
I know it is. It's just great. So definitely a good cause. And I really like that there are 3 different paintings to choose from.
Yes, that's new this year.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that. That's great, because I know everybody has a different comfort level of what they might want to do or what they might want to see hanging up in their house somewhere. So I think that's just brilliant. Whoever's choice that was a really good one. And of course, just like Melissa said, you can sign up. If you don't want to paint, you don't have to. There are different prices, and you can really find out all of these details online. And you can register online.
Yes, so let me mention that. So our website is scimaginationlibrary.org. That is the most efficient way to register for the fundraiser and to read all about the organization, who we support, that we're very good stewards of the money. We're an all-volunteer organization, by the way, no paid staff. I do want to mention the fundraiser is Saturday, November the 2nd at Bristol Motor Speedway from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you don't go online or don't want to register online, we have another option where you can fill out a paper form. Call us for that. Our number is 423-741-1103.
So coming up November 2nd, we should all be there and be ready. I'll be there ready to paint, because I love these types of things. I could never paint a llama on my own, and it really is amazing if you've never taken one of these classes where how they just make it all come together. So it's pretty amazing. So this is exciting. I think it's exciting whenever we have an event that's at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So that's also a great time to come out and probably see them out there like hanging lights, too, while you're out there. It'll probably be really pretty that evening. So anything else that I'm missing that you would like to add?
Well, the reason we so like this project of being on the board and getting these books out to the children is it's a known fact a child has to have a vocabulary of 3,000 to 6,000 words spoken and an understanding vocabulary of 20 to 40,000 words. Reading books is a no-brainer. They're going to get that vocabulary and be good readers and love books and make our world a better place.
Absolutely. This is just a great cause. So definitely register for this event and mark your calendars for November 2nd. It will be wonderful. And thank you both for coming on today and for sharing this with us. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got Dr. Martin Dotter-White with me today. Thank you so much for being here. And we are talking Faith and Culture series, which is a free lecture series at King University. And it's a really good one with some really impressive speakers. Tell us a little bit about this.
It's been a joy to be part of this series since it started as the Buechner Institute for Faith and Culture back in 2008. I became the director in 2017, and it is something that King sees as something that's a partnership between King and Bristol, something that we bring to the city and offer to the community as well as to our students. What we try to do every year is to put together a set of people who are engaged with culture and Christian faith in a variety of ways. We have historians and literature scholars, we have authors, we have community activists, we have all kinds of people coming in who can articulate for our students and community the ways in which Christian faith can inform and engage with human culture. And the speaker series this year is already underway. We continue all the way through the spring. We have 14 events this year and several still to go.
And if you want to know specifically who's speaking and what nights and the times and so on and so forth, what's the best way for everyone to find
Our website is
out?
the best way, which is faithandculture.king.edu. Faith and Culture, all one word. And then we also have a Facebook site, and those things are advertised pretty heavily there. We also have brochures that we hand out at events. All events are free and open to the public. We welcome anybody to come along to all those events.
And I was just kind of scrolling through some of the people that are coming. How in the world do you bring in this caliber of speakers? It's amazing.
It's a mixture of begging and cajoling that we do. And people are very kind about coming. Some of them, we have a mix of people, some of whom come to us as a favor, and then we're also able to extend offers to people for whom this is kind of a break. And it's a really nice mix of people who are very well known and some who are less well known. Probably our best known speaker this year is Father Gregory Boyle. He's going to come to us from Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles. He's a Jesuit priest who works with the gangs in LA. And his book, Tattoos on the Heart, was a New York Times bestseller. He's got a TED Talk. And so getting Father Gregory was a bit of a trick. He had meant to come a couple of years ago and was ill, and so we rescheduled him. So in his case, we're getting him on a much larger tour, and in some cases we have people that are going to be great in front of an audience that I've encountered some way or another, and the world doesn't know them yet, but should. So
Absolutely.
It's a mix.
Well, that's exciting. I was going to say, you have to do a lot of research when putting these things together. I'm sure it takes you a while to set up the entire series.
It is. A lot of my job is reading and listening to podcasts and things like that to try to find people who will be good both for our student body and also for Bristol. And then to work out the arrangements is a little bit of a trick. But we have a good series this year. 14 is large for us. We have usually aimed at about 12 per year, but we had a couple things fall in the lap at the end.
That's great. Well, it's really exciting. And I mean, talk about a wonderful, fulfilling evening, and it doesn't cost anything.
Not a thing.
So that is great. Well, is there anything that I'm missing that you'd like to add?
I want to pitch a couple of events that are coming up. Some of our events that are coming up soon, in November on the 4th, we have a speaker called Ann Bailey. Ann is a professor of history at State University of New York at Binghamton. And she is the author of a book called The Weeping Time. The Weeping Time is about the largest slave auction in American history, which occurred in Savannah in the 1850s. And what Anne has done as a historian is to go and try to find, as much as she could, each individual person who was involved, and then to find their descendants and see if she could find stories and accounts of these people through the years. Our theme this year is taken from Pope Benedict XVI, who in a famous sermon said that the greatest apologia for the church was the beauty of its art and the holiness of its saints. So art and saints we don't always put together, but that's the way the theme works this year. And so Anne, I hope, is going to represent for us people that we would think of as saints if we knew who they were, but whose names are often lost to history. Anne is going to speak at King's campus at 9:15 in the morning. They always do a talk at the King Chapel, but that's always open to the public. But her public lecture will be at 7 o'clock at Lee Street Baptist. Okay. And her public lecture in the evening is going to be on Christianity and racial reconciliation, which is a real concern for Anne. So Ann Bailey is on November 4th. November 18th, we have an annual event in honor of the writer Frederick Buechner. And he was the original name for the whole series. The Buechner Foundation now sponsors us for one lecture every year, and our Buechner lecturer this year is James K.A. Smith, or Jamie Smith from Calvin College. Jamie has written a number of books. He's a theologian and a philosopher, but somebody who can communicate with any audience. He's dynamic, he's fun, and he has a great sense of contemporary culture. And so Jamie has just produced a new book on St. Augustine of Hippo, whom only this morning I was teaching St. Augustine at King. All of our students read this book, Augustine's Confessions. And Jamie's going to talk about that in the evening. Because he's a bigger event, he'll have three things. In the morning at 9:15, he's going to talk about artistic depictions of Augustine through the centuries. He also edits an arts journal called Image, in addition to his books. At 4:30, I'm going to do an onstage interview with Jamie at First Presbyterian Church. We did this last year with a Buechner lecture as well, where I'll try to address his whole body of work, not just the Augustine material. And then in the evening, his big lecture is going to be at 7 o'clock at First Presbyterian, and it's on Augustine's Confessions. He's calling it Testimony as Poetry.
Oh, I love it.
So those are going to be our fall events. We have a whole spring slate as well, and those events are all listed out, including Father Gregory Boyle on Martin Luther King Day.
So many what a great lineup. I'm sure you're just like excited.
I
I'm
love
jumping
it.
around.
It's a fun job.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this. Definitely get on the site and get your calendars out and mark those days, because it really is just meaningful and thought-provoking and really a wonderful opportunity to hear from some great people.
Great.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got William Isom with me today, and also Tina McDaniel from the YWCA. Thank you so much, both of you, for being with us. We really appreciate it, and we really love what you're doing in terms of history in the community. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in this event and what this is all called and the whole idea behind it.
It's a Bristol Community History Day, and it's really focused on history of the African American community in Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, and surrounding areas. So it's going to be on November the 9th, Saturday from 9 until 5 here at Slater Center. So
That's great.
We're really excited about the opportunity to see what people bring to the event and the stories that they'll share. And we're sponsoring it, well, actually not sponsoring, but hosting is East Tennessee PBS and the Bristol Public Library. So we have some wonderful partners, and I think it's going to be a great event.
It sounds like a fantastic event. So definitely we've got lots of great events on this show today. So you need to keep that calendar out and plug in November 9th. So this will be a day that everyone's invited to. And is it a free event?
It is a free event, and I will say that this is the brainchild of William Isom, East Tennessee PBS, and one of the things that I saw within the Bristol community was that we did not have a compilation of the history of the African American community, and we needed a way to do that, and there was, in my opinion, a sense of urgency to do that because a lot of the members of the community are now deceased or older. And then I learned about what East Tennessee PBS was doing and reached out to William to see if he would partner with us. So just very excited and really appreciate William's partnership.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your partnership.
So East Tennessee PBS has a project called Black in Appalachia, and so it's lots of times we get, in doing our documentary work, we've run into communities that have either a deficit in the available black history. So and so we don't go in on our own. Usually a community member such as Tina is driving the effort to preserve the black history in the community and raise it up. And so we've been working in Elizabethton and Kingsport, Greenville. We did some work in Morristown, around Morristown College, and so Tina approached me and said, hey, come look at Bristol. And we've toured the community, we've toured where the old black business district was. Tina's also being very modest. She's been very instrumental in driving this whole thing and rounding people up and finding resources that we need to preserve.
I think what'll be really exciting about that day is the stories, and you really touched on that. Tell me about that part of the day.
What's interesting is, as I've talked to older members of the community about the History Day, it kind of brings back memories, and they start sharing stories of what it was like in the business community. Black Bottom area, Front Street, just right across from the train station, there were a lot of black businesses in that area. So you get to hear stories of their childhood and the things that they did there. So we'll have a camera set up, and William will ask all kinds of good questions and just give people an opportunity to share whatever they would like to during that event. I was fortunate to attend the event last weekend in Greenville, Tennessee, so got to hear some of the members of the community share their stories. So it's really whatever they want to share about the history of Bristol and their experience.
And I'm sure this is really exciting for you because you're really just tackling the whole area. Do you see some differences as you're going around and putting this together?
Yeah, there's certainly some differences in different communities, like what has been preserved, what's available for preservation, but also different communities did different things. For like Greene County was really tobacco-centered community, whereas like Bristol was very like commercial. There was some farming out in Sullivan and Washington counties, but Bristol, the city, is the cultural center of Sullivan County, right? And so I'm excited to see what people will bring. And this is kind of a social event too, because when people bring things, they'll sit around and share stories and share items and look at stuff that each other has brought, and it really enriches the stories that are available from the area, and so I'm excited about that part.
Now, is this a day or an event that people need to register for, or can they just come and show up?
They can just come, drop in anytime between 9 and 5, so we ask them to bring any pictures, newspaper articles, any relics that they might want to share, and they can come in any time between 9 and 5. William and his team will be here to scan items so people can take their items back with them. We're not going to hold on to those. So anytime, is drop in between 9 and 5.
That's great, and it is at the Slater Center in Bristol, Tennessee, and that's nice too that they have that freedom. So if they have something else going on, they can come in. And I'm sure already you've done some research, Tina. I can just tell you've done some research. I know, and you've probably heard already some wonderful stories that have happened in this community. It'll definitely be a fantastic day and really neat to see PBS pull this all together.
And one of the things I want to make sure people know is when people bring items in and we digitize them, they will leave with their items, but they will also leave with a thumb drive with their items digitized so they can take home, and that's all free for people.
That's great.
And when we're finished with this stuff, once we get it all cataloged and organized, it'll be available free online for the public to research and access.
That's fantastic. Well, what an undertaking. I know you've done a lot, and this event will be really special. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got Tommy Dowdy here with me today. Thank you so much for being here. And, you know, sometimes we all say, oh my gosh, we see these Christmas trees up, and is it that time already? But it is that time already, and we are here to talk about the Santa Pal program, which is really quite amazing. And a lot to it, and we need everybody's help in the community to make all these kids' Christmas wishes come true. So tell us a little bit about this.
Santa Pal is an organization that was started in 1927 by Woody Vance with the Bristol Herald Courier. And what we do is we provide Christmas to underprivileged children each year. And
when you say that you provide Christmas, we were just talking, I mean, last year you helped over 600 kids.
Yes, in 2018 we provided Christmas gifts for 620 children. They were all sponsored last year, and then we also provided 278 gift certificates to the families so that they would have food during the Christmas time.
Yeah, because we know that can be a tough time. They're away from school and they don't always get enough food. So I guess looking at it from, if you have a need for this service, where would you go to apply and to?
We work through the school districts here in Bristol, Virginia, Bristol, Tennessee, and in Sullivan County, Tennessee. The applications are picked up at the schools through their counselors, and our deadline for our applications is always October the 1st. So this year's deadline is come and gone, but in future years, you know, just make sure you talk to your counselor before October the 1st to get an application.
And that really helps just get you all organized and knowing what you need to start looking for.
We are finalizing the accepted or denied children at this point, so it takes us a little bit of time to get everything done, and now once we do that, then we'll spend the next month and a half finding sponsors or donors to provide money for these Christmas gifts.
So that's where we all come in too. So we want to help, and how do we become a sponsor?
Well, you can become a sponsor by going to our Facebook page. It's Santa Pal Bristol, and you can just send us a message through it. Our phone number is there, which is 276-582-1967. Just leave a message. We're an all volunteer board, so we don't have anyone manning the phones, but we will call you back, and we will call you and we'll try to meet your needs for as many children as you want. We have families from 1 to 8 children this year. So, you know, any size family that you want, we can find for you. And then we also have church groups that will take, you know, 40 or 50 kids. So, you know, it's what they do each year. So we have some sponsors that do it year after year.
Yeah, that's great. And I noticed you've got some great business sponsors too. I love that this is the whole community just gets involved.
Yes, it does. That's one thing that we have, you know, with funding for nonprofit organizations is certainly becoming more and more of a challenge. So we've had to branch out to find funding in other places than we traditionally find it. So we've started asking some of the local businesses, and they have been very receptive and very helpful. So we thank them very much for their contributions.
I know. I think some people think, well, I can't help, you know, 600 families, but really, if you can just help one child.
If you can help one child.
You can, you know, that makes a big difference. So.
You know, and speaking of that one child, my granddaughter has chosen this year, that is what she wants to do for Christmas, is she's going to adopt or sponsor one child for Christmas. So, you know, it does my heart good to see that, but that's all it really takes is just one child.
That's right. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything I'm missing that you want to add about the Santa Pal program?
Our fundraiser project for the year is on Saturday, November the 9th. We're having a designer purse and Sabika jewelry bingo event. So yes, it's very, very fun. It'll be at Virginia High School. You can go to our Facebook page and find all the information you need. You can even purchase tickets there, and it'll be a fun night. It's all the proceeds will go back into Santa Pal to buy, to provide Christmas for these children.
That's great. Thank you so much
You're
for
quite
doing
welcome.
this program and for keeping it going after all these years. It
You're
definitely
welcome.
makes a difference on Christmas morning. I am sure of that.
Yes, it does.
So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Well, we wouldn't want to end the show today without talking to Officer Nathan Green about Halloween safety, because this is definitely a hot topic, and I know Halloween comes with lots of fun, but just some very good reminders to keep us all safe.
Right.
Tell us about some of the safety tips that we should know as a community.
First of all, we have an extra batch of people working that night from like 6 to 10, so that should cover it, because that's on the school night. It falls on school night, don't forget. But just for adults, we just remind them that while they're out driving to be on the lookout, because these kids are already eating candy and hyped up on sugar, so they're probably more likely to dart out in traffic. So just be real careful. If you're giving out candy as an adult, just put up your dogs, your animals, or at least have them under control, because if you're willing to give out candy, somebody showing up in a mask might just upset the dog a little bit, or the cat. So that kind of thing. And give treats that are wrapped, because just you might be the best cook in the world, but families don't know that. There's no sense in it going to waste. Most of the time they're going to throw that thing away. And on the flip side of that, kids, we encourage them not to take stuff that's not like a packaged item, like a Reese cup or Snicker or something, And again, kids, don't get into a car or walk into a house to get candy. Obviously, if it's not handed out to you, don't go in and get it. Be mindful of your surroundings, and don't be looking at your cell phone and get distracted and stuff like that, because you can walk out in traffic. There's a lot more traffic in all these neighborhoods.
Yeah, I always like it when it's a nice night. I'm hoping for good weather, because
Yeah,
I
me
feel
too.
like that's just better. There's more people walking. It's the nights when we have like really bad weather on Halloween that you're right, you get the people in the trucks and all the kids are piled up in the back and they're jumping out and slipping, and so.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have good weather. Fingers crossed. But yeah, just wear something that's reflective, that you can be seen. Carry a flashlight. If you're out trick or treating, parents, don't drop kids off in just a neighborhood and
Yeah, stick with your kids.
Yeah,
Stick
stay
with
with
them.
them.
They move quickly, though.
Yeah, they move
You're
quickly,
like,
and-
oh my goodness, they're at 5 houses down. So
there's a lot of good neighborhoods out here to get good candy, but just don't drop them off and just because you think it's safe.
And I always feel like it's a good idea to have water, because
Yeah.
they're running a lot, and some of those costumes are so hot. And every once in a while they're stopping and eating candy,
Right.
and I've learned that a parenting trick over the years.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice when you
Stay
can.
hydrated.
Yes,
Plus, you might want to eat
absolutely.
some candy. You got to wash it down with something.
That's right. So
But,
we want
talking
everyone.
about the mask, if you're wearing a mask, if you're going to wear one, make sure it's something you can see through, or that
Yes.
the eye holes are good enough that you're not, going to be tripping or can't see and get run over. Just be mindful of that.
So, well, thank you so much. We just know it's such a fun night and everyone gets into it and it's exciting, but we just have to remember there are those safety things that we need to pay attention to.
Yep.
So, thank you for being on and sharing that with us. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Halloween.
And we will see you next time.